I just got to.
And we're live.
Man, I missed this. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. Well, we're gonna wait till you guys come in, and then we'll go ahead and start. Um, just gotta get to. Just gotta get to my page. Okay. Alrighty. And then go to the comments. Oh wait. Share. Nope, I don't need this. Yes, I need this. Yes. Oh wait, no, I don't need that. Y'all, give me a second. My shit is really fucking with me right now. Is this it? No, that's not it either. Okay. So okay. Hey Juan, what's going on? Hey Corey. Hey everybody. Yeah. Guess who's back? Yes. Welcome, Haas00312. Welcome. Yes, so this is hashtag Heals for Life, the special episode where Chris breaks his silence. I'm gonna get into that in a second. This is my it's my special guest, Mr. Jeremy. You've seen him a couple of times on here. Welcome back to the show. This is our pre-show, everyone. So we just basically just gonna bullshit for a few seconds while I get this up and loaded, and then we will go ahead and start. This shit is really acting up. Like, where is the? As many times as I've done this, shit is really. Wait. I know I'm doing this wrong. But oh my God.
What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to share it, but okay. I'm doing this wrong. Okay.
You got the soundboard working?
No, it's working. It's just because usually it's just a click of a button. I just need to just boop, and it's giving me issues, but I can take care of it. In a second. You guys are sharing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like this video, everyone, and remember to follow hashtag Heals for Life Wrestling Podcast on every streaming platform you can think of, and remember to give us a review. Give us a 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing and all that good shit. But yes, remember to like this video because the algorithms are very important to us. Yes, the more likes, the better people will see this video. Yeah. Give me a second, y'all. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. Since this shit is really pissing me off. Jeremy, you can go ahead and talk, man. Like you're not a stranger.
I'm just chilling, man.
You're just chilling?
Yeah.
Oh, it's chilling. Okay.
I didn't get to take a nap yet, man.
Oh, that's why. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely make this shit quick. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do? You already got the notes, so wherever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the notes. Okay. So everyone, let's go live. Give me a second.
And we're live.
Hang on. Let's put this. Okay, we'll be right back.
Hashtag heels for life. Wanna welcome everybody. Yeah, we gotta get it hype. Hey, every week talking wrestling, we get into it. Current events, even guests that we're interviewing. Hosted by Chris, Kid USA, and Nappy Boy. Shout out to Ziggy, put the smack down, you can't ignore. The best you gon' find anywhere online. Tell the competition they about to get clothesline. Hold up, hashtag heels for life. Let's go.
What's going on, humans? This is Hashtag Heels for Life Wrestling Podcast special episode, for our content. You already know who I am. I am Mr. Team Brinkett. That's Jeremy over there. He's winging it out with me. Everyone else, basically, they're taking a little day off. Whatever. We'll all be back on Sunday. However, the little backstory of why I'm doing this, where Mr. Team Brinkett is breaking his silence. I've been gone for 7 days, and shout out to Ziggy, our producer. He basically been helping me out for the podcast and helping us with all of the back shit that we do on the program. I've been wanting to just get my thoughts out of what's been going on for the past 7 days. Facebook basically blocked me for calling someone trash. But that's a different story for a different day. I know Ziggy left something out. He put something on the post like, what Chris is going to say. Did Chris learn his lesson? Chris did not learn his lesson. Chris just basically said, "Hey, look, I'm just not going to put everything on the public forum. I'm just going to say, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay."
Yes.
I'll see you live, bitch.
Yeah, you guys see that in the ring, man.
Yeah, so I mean, and look, it's just some things that I can't say. There's some things I can't say on the public forum on Facebook. So on that aspect, I learned my lesson.
It's like right to censor, man. Stevie Richards your ass.
Man, bro, I definitely feel that way. Like, I feel like I just been censored and like no one wants me to say anything or whatever. But I'm sorry, but with the Team Brinkett and Hashtag Heels for Life, we don't get down like that. I'm going to say where the fuck I'm going to say, and that is that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kick this off. We got a list of things that we're going to talk about. So we're going to break down on today's culture in wrestling. And I want you guys to forward this around. I hope everybody's in the conversation because we're going to really get deep into this because this is a growing problem that me and Jeremy both talked about today at work. So we both said like, okay, well, I'm going to put my take on it. And I'm just like, hey, you want to come on? He said, oh, okay, cool. Let's do this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is AEW fans versus WWE fans.
Trey, Facebook was like, "Oh, you violate our policy again. Where's my belt?"
Yeah. So this has been ongoing ever since 2019, and the crazy thing is, this has been an ongoing shit for the past 2 years. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to ask, like, okay, what's the difference between WCW fans and WWE fans back in the day? Easy answer. There was no internet.
I think it wasn't really too much of a difference between them. I think honestly, WCW fans and WWE fans were one and the same. I don't really think it was, much of a war. I think everybody was just doing what they could to watch as much of it as they could because it was all airing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like a fans versus fans kind of thing. It was very much just a whole group of fans that they were trying to get the attention of, kind of, you know what I mean?
I agree to a certain I agree, but to a certain point. See, back in the day, you had your rowdy fans, you know what I'm saying? You had the ones that was like, on the certain fan bases and woody woo. The problem is now is that the internet has taken over. It gave fans a voice to really like to be poisonous, to be, to be something that they are not behind a keyboard. But the problem is that not only it gave fans a voice, but it also gave them an outlet to reach out to their favorite superstar or to the superstar that they're very obsessed with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, it's like it's to the point now where I literally have to choose a side, and see, me and you, we don't choose sides.
No.
We don't need to choose a side. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to choose a side because at the end of the day, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not going to sit back and argue with someone that I do not know and wants to be a loyalist. But then when I try to challenge your thinking, it's like that's hard for you to do, and you use that as an insult. And when you do that, when you start the name calling and then calling me, trash, a noob, like you accused me of doing to you, what I'm saying? but we were, we was in a heated discussion. Besides, we have much respect for each other, and we know about the business. So knowing about the business as fans, like we actually are very detailed on what we talk about the business. But you got fans that's out there that loves the WWE, regardless of what we're talking about, that will troll you, will put out little memes and say that, oh, well, like the whole thing with the John Cena t-shirt or whatever. I said that was basically a ripoff of CM Punk. CM Punk came up with that shit.
It looks really good, though.
It really did, because, I ain't going to even lie. Like, I was marking the fuck out. I was just like, oh, damn.
It's Super Mario 3, man.
Yeah, that t-shirt really does look good.
Yeah.
But then when someone, went to protease.com, there was a CM Punk one, and I'm just like,
the Bucks did it too. The Bucks spoofed that cover as well. And I don't really think it's like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's just like, I think it's just that another really popular superstar already did it, I think there are plenty of instances that you can find, none that I can think of off the top of my head, where, a wrestler or even a band spoofed the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
True. I mean, I don't really think I really think people are giving John Cena too much grief for that. I mean, it's a cool fucking video game cover, whatever, spoof it.
But at the same time, bro, this is the problem that I kind of like, where I say this is suspect. You bring it out. You have all of your Rainbow Coalition t-shirts and your Fruity Pebbles and all this other bullshit. You find, bro, like, you've been in the business with all these fucking t-shirts. You bring out a t-shirt the same time CM Punk makes his return.
Yeah, of a exact design that he spoofed in the past. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there's a lot of weird coincidences, and not really coincidences, just like, kind of like, oh, well, you guys brought CM Punk back, we're going to bring Becky Lynch back and Brock Lesnar, or, oh, you spoofed this t-shirt, well, we're going to spoof it, like, it's just, I feel like there's a lot of that back and forth stuff that's going to happen, and you're going to see it continue to happen. But at the end of the day, who wins? Fans.
We win.
We kind of win. We kind of win, right?
We want to win. We want to watch our wrestling. I know there's some of us that's very obsessed with wrestling, but then it's like when we talk about WWE, it's like fans that loves the WWE, it's God to them. Like, you can't talk bad about them. Like, you can't say you can't make no points, and you cannot talk about the WWE in a bad light, because it's against the Bible. It's against an amendment that's in the Bible of wrestling. You cannot talk about the WWE in a negative light at all.
But if we're being honest, couldn't the same thing be said about AEW and their?
That's true too. I'm not saying
you know what I mean?
It's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk bad about the WWE. You can't talk bad about AEW. But at the same time, we always have to go back. You got to see why AEW was formed in the first place.
As an alternative.
Exactly, as an alternative, because no one wanted to pay attention to the WWE because the WWE is a dying fucking breed of a company. That's not knocking the WWE off. This is pure fucking facts.
You can see it, man. I mean, you can see that they're. I mean, it's not that their crowd is really dwindling, man. The crowd was really massive at SummerSlam and stuff like that, but it's just interest. The interest is definitely dwindling if it hasn't already dwindled in the past from old school fans and stuff like that. Because I know it doesn't have the same feel as it did even. I mean, if they wanted to make it PG again, they could have gone back to more of a classic WWF kind of thing, before the golden age type shit, but now it's over choreographed, overdone everything,
And that's the part that is literally fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's over choreographed, it's oversaturated, it's just everything around, it's too kiddish. It's too much too.
I feel like back in the day they would try and make you feel like it was real, and I feel like they don't really care about that anymore,
No, and you know what? And the thing about it is, it's like the WWE just do not give a fuck. Like it's like you're gonna come back regardless, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the WWE in a little bit or whatever, because right now, like I said, we're going to kind of break this down.
It's a good point, Trey, about Cody.
A little bit. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on. I actually found what I was looking for, but
honestly, if you ask me though, Trey, I think they probably regretted releasing Cody even before AEW, just because I feel like. It's Dusty's kid. I mean, Vince could have had to feel something about that, man.
That's true. That's definitely true. I think that Vince, to this day, I really feel that he made a really grave mistake. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying, even though he doesn't give a fuck, I still feel that there's some things that he shouldn't have did in the past, and it's really biting him in the ass now. Because the same people that he released made their own company and been a force to be reckoned with for the past 2 years. But y'all, let's go over these talking points real quick.
Yeah, let me pull them up.
Actually, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me just
blow
them up real quick. Okay. So the AEW situation, the Civil War, we already talked about. So let's kind of go dissect what's going on in AEW right now. AEW right now currently needs a hiring freeze.
Yeah.
Okay. It's oversaturating the product right now to the point where there's wrestlers that needs to get pushed is not being pushed at all. Mm-hmm. Or there are ones that the bigger stars that's coming from these companies, especially from the WWE, because that's where all of the talent is coming from. The major stars is coming from the WWE. And you got to be very careful with that, because when you get a big star that's coming from the WWE, you got to think about your homegrown talent that's in AEW. And you got to think okay, you got to think to yourself, are you hurting them or are you helping them?
It's true. Yeah, CM Punk says that he's, coming in for all the young talent and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like the young talent was doing just fine before all of this. I don't really think that they necessarily need to be elevated by CM Punk. And I mean, everybody, how I feel about CM Punk. I mean, granted, with the way his return was done and stuff like that, it was a great moment. But is it going to be? It could be like Orange Cassidy versus Darby Allin at All In or something like that. It could be, somebody who doesn't get as much exposure, putting on a great match with Darby and it'd be all the same, And I mean, not all the same, obviously, but I just feel like CM Punk is coming in after he sees that the product's already hot, rather than coming in on the ground level and
that matter of fact, that was one of my other key points as well, that I think CM Punk did this, like, kind of quoting what you said earlier, that CM Punk seen AEW and said that, oh, it's hot, it's really hot, and wasn't there from the beginning and let them do all the dirty work, and now wants to come in when they're really red hot.
Mhm.
And to be really honest with you, I don't really respect him for doing that, because if you were the voice of the voiceless, you would have showed up to a company that is the voice of the voiceless, because they really didn't have a big, I mean, they had Chris Jericho, but if you really look at it,
Can you imagine if like they would have announced like not only Chris Jericho but CM Punk at that press conference, man? They would have crushed it, man. Oh my god, dude! Right out of the gate. But
exactly. Yeah. So like with that, I think CM Punk took advantage of the situation, but then really look at the long-term repercussions that this might have with him being, at AEW so late in the game. Like you do, like the company has been around for 2 years, and the talent that they have right now is struggling to get star time or TV time.
Yeah, TV time, airtime.
Yeah, airtime, TV time, wherever you want to call it. And right now, like CM Punk put AEW in a pickle right now, because now AEW fans is expecting CM Punk to go after the world championship after he buries the young talent, starting with Darby Allin. And Darby Allin right now, yes, he's a hot commodity, but when you take them L's, you're gonna have to start thinking like, okay, are they being buried right now? Or
the only way CM Punk helps this talent is if he puts them over, which I don't believe is going to happen. So
I don't think so either.
It's kind of a catch-22, because like, yeah, he's going to get a lot of eyes on the match and stuff like that. But if ultimately he goes over Darby Allin, what the fuck does that do for Darby?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, you had a great match, but you ultimately lost.
So let me ask you this, because we also talked about this too. Do you think that Punk's credibility, especially him being in the UFC, taking them to devastating losses, is like going to kind of hurt him being in AEW?
No, because I mean, everybody knows he can go in a pro wrestling ring and stuff like that, and obviously it's not really, he doesn't really have the danger of being as hurt as bad as he was in, the UFC. So obviously he's not going to get beat bloody or too bloody anyways, unless he gets in the ring with Moxley or something.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really think it damages his credibility to lose in the UFC as far as like pro wrestling is concerned. Because I mean, Brock lost in the UFC. It didn't hurt his credibility.
No, but he dominated though.
He did dominate. Yeah, that's true. He did dominate at a point in time. I guess that was a bad example. So, I guess like no wrestlers ever really made the transition to MMA and basically sucked at it, did they? I mean, like Bobby Lashley did good. Jake Hager did pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
see, it's just like,
Batista too, fighting a couple cans. Batista did pretty good fighting a couple out of shape dudes.
Yeah, but the thing about it is with CM Punk, with him having a martial arts background and having that, that ground style, submission, and having that, that background, you would have thought that he would have been a little bit better, know. Yeah. But I think that was the UFC. I think he took that like, oh, well, I'm a big star coming in here, and I'm gonna mop the floor with these guys, and that was like completely the opposite, and it even shocked me.
Working that way.
No, it didn't. So the next item that I wanted to talk about was Jurassic Express. So
Corey actually has a question in the chat.
Go ahead.
What if Punk puts them over though? If Punk puts them over, then I would say, yeah, then he would be making good on his word when he said that he was coming in to help talent. But otherwise, I just feel like if he doesn't do that, then he's just there soaking up stardom and burying people. He's AEW's Triple H at that point.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, he ain't lying about that. I mean, honestly, because like the whole thing is, I really want to know why did CM Punk come in the first place? I really want to know. You know,
he spent the last 7 years completely trashing pro wrestling, man. I mean, you hear him in interviews,
right?
like, just, you know, like, he even talked shit about his own name, like, oh yeah, CM Punk, it's a stupid name and stuff like that. Yeah, I heard him in an interview say that shit. So like, it's just, I don't know, like, why you want to come back now, man? Like, why? For what?
So Trey said this. He said, Chris, they gave Britt Baker the belt. They're currently pushing Jurassic Express. We're going to talk about that in a second. Darby Allin versus Punk, probably main event All Out. My thing is, yes, AEW signing guys, but also they need star power, which is why they're bringing in guys like Punk, Brian Cole, and possibly Bray. We'll talk about that too. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, there's a thing of having too many guys, but at the same time, you have to balance it, which is what AEW is doing to a certain degree.
It can be said that it's getting out of balance at this point.
Yes, because right now, yes, I agree. They do.
I want to see Orange Cassidy, man. I want to see, is he even booked at All Out right now?
No.
That's what I mean.
Orange Cassidy right now, for the past 2 years, has been hot.
Yeah.
Last year at Revolution, not last year, but the year before that, he was hot.
What about Joey Janela? I haven't seen him in a
Joey Janela, he turned heel, but we don't see him. What was the Sean Spears?
Yeah,
Sean Spears has been a complete jobber ever since he came back. All he did was swing a chair, and that's it. That's it. Like, I mean, like, the thing about it is, I get that you need big stars.
Yeah, totally.
But
I agree with that.
But what my bro just said, like, you have to balance that shit out. As a matter of fact, they need management. They need a creative team to kind of balance the storylines out, because right now,
I don't like the idea, but, like, you know, I mean, I don't completely disagree with you, but, like, as soon as they get a creative team in there, it's just like, it's more like WWE at that point, you know. And that's
no. The thing about it is that you can have a creative team, but don't have a whole bunch of yes men. Have the ones that actually know about the business versus getting people off of the street or getting people that writes for Days of Our Lives and shit.
Yeah, you don't want to get them. They hire like a lot of television writers and stuff.
Exactly, but you
hire
can't.
fans.
You can't do that. You got to hire fans. You got to hire fans that is passionate about the business.
I agree.
And that is where, like, you know, like me and you, I write for an EFED. You know, well, I used to write, you know what I'm saying? Just now, we took a different format. But me, I can write a storyline for like the next year or so. If you get a good team together, trust me, all you got to do is have them write, look at some shit, kind of, kind of reprovision it, like, just like go back and look, like, okay, I can change
draft,
this.
Third draft.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Brainstorm. That's basically what you're doing as a creative team. But just right now, like in the WWE, that shit that I don't agree with over there. Mm-hmm. But AEW really needs to be structured.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need to have a commissioner. You have to have like a general manager or something like that of that sort, because, and this goes into my next point, having your execs as champions is not a good look on the company.
It's a bad look.
It's a bad look, but I see why. Because right now they're the best. Kenny Omega is one of the best in the company.
Mm-hmm.
The young company, best in the business, period. I get it. But the thing about this is when you start bringing your friends over from other promotions and then have your little stable and they're dominating for like a year or so, that is where it starts to become, I don't know about this over here. Now you're starting to go into the realm of being a WCW 2.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's when the lunatics are running the asylum. That's kind of what you get. I mean, you got to learn from history, otherwise you're doomed to repeat it, right? So they definitely do need some structure, and I don't really think that I mean, it is what it is. You can't really change the fact that the execs are going to be wrestlers in the company because, I mean, obviously they want to continue their careers in that regard and stuff like that too. But they also don't want to not own a piece of AEW, right? So
Right.
it's hard because I mean, and it's hard because they legitimately are some of the best. You know, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. It's tough, man. It's tough to do.
Exactly.
It is in the form of the click. Octavio's correct, man. That's
that
really
we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, let me get to this comment real quick. So Juan said he thinks it's balanced. He'll win some, he'll lose some. I think he came back now because it's simple. It's not WWE.
Yeah.
Laughing out loud. AEW is the highest thing right now. Just saying. I agree with that.
Yeah, man.
He also said, yeah, you're right. AEW is focusing more on the ones that's been around than the ones that's been building, and we're doing great. It's like they've been pushed aside, and
I miss those
like,
guys. I want to
come
see
on,
guys.
mix it up, get some good shit going with everyone. Don't push them away. What you had just because of all of these signees, and Juan, that is the problem that I'm kind of having with AEW right now. It's like you bring in all of these stars from the WWE, but yet you're not focusing on the homegrown talent that's been building the business of making it a hot company and shit. But then you bringing all of these motherfuckers here just to what? Give them the shine. Like that's, I mean, it's no better than the part-timers that they're bringing in from the WWE.
Yeah. It's going to be a weird balance. I mean, like at the same time, like I think everybody's naturally more curious about scenarios like that because they're always just like, oh man, what if those guys weren't in WWE? What would they do? You know, that sort of thing. So it's hard to not be excited about dream matches like Darby Allin versus CM Punk and stuff like that. I mean, even I'm excited about it to kind of see that. So,
I'm damn excited about this. But you know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, like it could be somebody who's been busting their ass in the business for the past 7 years while CM Punk's been out doing whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? It could be like Orange Cassidy or like I mentioned Joey Janela in that position against Darby Allin. You know,
you also mentioned Matt Sydal too.
Yeah, Matt Sydal. I mean, that's also a former WWE guy. When you think about it, I sometimes forget about that. But yeah, like you got Matt Sydal in there, one of the greatest performers in the business. You know, and he's not getting pushed. You know, you see him on AEW Dark every now and then, probably.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a slippery slope signing all these WWE guys because I want to see what they'll do outside of WWE when they're left to their own devices and stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to see guys that I've loved watching for the past 2 years get buried underneath. And it's not even like they're buried, like they're getting jobbed out or anything. They're just, you just don't see them.
Right. So Trey said this, man, he writes a lot. He said, Chris, you got to remember you can't push everyone at once. Sometimes you got to have patience when there is a lot of talent. You got to take your time when it comes to making stars. Hell, it took 2 years for Britt Baker to be at where she is now. They pushed Darby Allin to make him a TNT champion before dropping it to Miro. Heyman Page as champion. Still in the plan when he returns. I don't see Christian winning. MJF has so much momentum. I can't see him being champion when Page wins the belt. Okay. I get examples. I totally get that part. Yes, you are absolutely right. And then also this is another thing that me and Jeremy was talking about earlier as well. AEW is 2 years strong. And this has got to have been the most powerful, strong 2 years that I've seen from any company. Like I've never seen this hot momentum. But the problem is it reminds me of Empire that used to be on Fox. It was the hottest fucking show, bringing in millions and millions of viewers. Then all of a sudden, it fell from the sky like very, very fast. All because they were putting in so much they was putting all of this this stock into this TV show, but they just wasn't looking at. They was looking at the short term, but they wasn't looking at the long term. But the one thing I can honestly say about AEW, their storytelling is great for long term. I will definitely say that. And you're also right as well that it takes time. But the fan base now, the wrestling culture now, is so fucking impatient. And that is what pisses me off about fans today, that they're not patient. They want shit like the WWE, but then yet they complain about how, you know what I'm saying, the storylines is not long, but they want this storyline to happen, but the storyline only lasts for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there's your boy right here. I'm totally ignoring him. But yeah, welcome to the show, Eric. But yeah, so and that's what I say. All of those were great points, but the issue is you can't have a lot of talent. You can't have. I mean, you can't have a lot of talent, but I mean, you can't have too much talent either. But you got to have talent, but you got to actually structure them in key areas or whatever. You can't just have talent and just like have them over here, and they're all scattered. And now you have all this talent, but you don't know what to do with them, because what I'm fearing about AEW is that you're gonna have all this talent, and then you're gonna be like the WWE's creative team and gonna say, I don't have nothing for you to do.
You know, like, but one thing that I will say about having such a diverse talent pool and having so much going on is that it gives you a reason to continue watching the show, because they can advertise people that you haven't seen for a while during the show. Like, oh yeah, next week, you know, Joey Janela will be here. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. That's one thing that I miss from WWE, because like their roster, it's like, you know, who's going to be on every single show every single time, because it's always the same people, you know?
Right.
Just with AEW, they have a deep enough talent pool to where they can throw somebody crazy in there, and sometimes they do.
Exactly.
It's
FTR, that promo that they cut, do you think that was part of the storyline, or do you think they're actually going to leave AEW?
If they're cutting it during a promo, I think it's part of the storyline.
Okay. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, that was a damn good promo, and it was a very convincing promo. Like, okay, what's going on? Because I know, I forgot dude's name. He was injured. Like his skin was literally ripped. Literally ripped out or whatever. Like I think it was like it was either a wire or something, and it got caught in his skin and it ripped, and like it was like blood like all over his forearm. Like it was nasty. They're coming back, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be Dynamite or if it's going to be All Out. But I believe it's Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken, because I looked at the whole All Out card is stacked.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
It's stacked, dude.
That's good. Still no Orange Cassidy on there though. What the fuck?
No Orange Cassidy, yeah. Let me see. Juan said, wasn't TNA pretty hot back then, or not really? In the mid 2000s, I think they were pay-per-view only events, and finally got a TV deal later once the fan base was built up. Yes, you're right. Yes, they were.
They had some steam. Yeah, I remember I went to Bound for Glory when Kurt Angle first showed up there. He was a guest enforcer in a match between Sting and Jeff Jarrett. It was in Lansing, Michigan. I drove out there with a couple of my buddies, and yeah, that was a good show, man. TNA was starting to build up some steam, and I mean, it was enough to where WWE started holding down talent and long contracts and stuff, similar to their practices in recent times and stuff like that. But they seem to be taking a different strategy with AEW. They're just releasing everybody now. So
yeah, and that's another thing too. So let's kind of talk to them about like our little theory. Mm-hmm. So I believe that the WWE is using this as strategy. They're giving what AEW wants, But the problem is with AEW is that they're really inexperienced, but they're not dumb either. But the thing is that when you give them so much talent and they know that the competition needs it, but then at the same time, when you have all this talent, you don't know what to do with them. It's like a ripple effect. It's like that thing that we're seeing in the WWE could happen in AEW as well, like where the talent is starting to say, well, I'm not being used, so I might as well go back to the WWE and make more money. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a revert, it's like a cycle, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
That's basically what the wrestling business is. You know, and that's why, like I was telling Jeremy, like I think that's what WWE is doing to AEW right now. And I think this is like kind of a experimental thing that they're doing, but it also could backfire as well.
Yeah, it could be the smartest or the dumbest thing they've ever done, because if you flood AEW with talent and stuff like that, then it's just going to create a situation to where, you know, they'll pick their old stars back up later, and then what's AEW have after that, you know?
Now, the one thing that I can honestly say, Malachi Black, they are booking him exactly how I will book him.
Yeah. As a monster. Yeah. He's been great. Yeah, like they definitely won't drop the ball with Tommy End, man. I can't say like his name is growing on me or anything like that. Malachi, I like Tommy End, man. I feel like he should just stick with that. But whatever, you know.
Exactly.
That's the only thing I like about his booking is I wish he would have just kept his name, but that was probably his decision, you know.
Another thing too, kind of going back to CM Punk, I think CM Punk ran his mouth a little bit too much when he was in Milwaukee yesterday. So the whole thing that he literally confirmed that Daniel Bryan is coming back.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool, man. I think everybody figured that too. That's another badly kept secret. But that's the thing, though. Like, we're living in the time where, yeah, everybody wants to be surprised and everybody wants these shocking moments and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, it's like one of those things that, like, if a tree falls in the middle of a quiet light of the woods, does anybody hear it if no one's around? You know what I mean? But like,
right.
that's not how the saying goes. But I tried. But
right.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though. It's just like you have to make sure that people are watching and that people are expecting that, because then it's going to be more impactful when it actually happens, because more people are going to have eyes on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, there's also been a thing too. Like, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, there's also been a thing. Like, I hear that like networks, whenever something big like that is going to happen, like a lot of networks require them to like announce it. Like I know that happens with WWE a lot. That's why you don't see a lot of like, you know, surprise returns on WWE, is because when it's on network TV, they want like the network TV guys want them to they want them to actually, you know, announce that the week before and stuff like that. But when it happens, that's why only surprises happen at really pay-per-views and stuff like that. If you've noticed with WWE, otherwise it's usually pretty advertised well.
Mm-hmm. So what Kevin said, and this is where fans get on my fucking nerves. I mean, like, they want to be Inspector Gadgets, though, but I mean, looking at this shit, this is how you know that motherfuckers are too damn smart for their own conscience. So I believe I think it was on whose shoes was this?
Was that Punk's shoes? He was wearing Vans, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so this was on Punk shoes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on Punk shoes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that.
Was it on Punk shoes or was this on the Young Buck shoes?
Yeah, maybe somebody can comment in the chat.
Yeah, because I know someone had a close up on their shoe. Oh, yeah. It was on CM Punk shoes.
I thought so because I seen it. It was on a pair of Vans, and I was like, oh yeah, CM Punk was wearing some Vans. Usually Young Bucks wear like Jordans or something like that.
Oh wow, that is crazy.
But you notice that they do stuff like that all the time. Like if you remember, like back at the first, I think it was Double or Nothing, Cody Rhodes had FTR on his coffee cup, like written, and it was like kind of like it was obvious, but like, you know, it was supposed to be subtle, you know.
Wow, but honestly, I think they really need to stop doing that because like fans are so obsessed with wrestling, where they will find any type of hint just to say, "Oh my God, I broke the code." So,
but honestly, it's genius because like they do little shit like that to start building hype because it's like most of those guys are probably still under non-compete clauses or something. If they said outright like, "Oh yeah, we're thinking about signing Adam Cole or we're thinking about signing Bray Wyatt," then they could get them into some kind of trouble. But this is a way of them building hype and like getting people talking, like you and me are talking about it right now, without necessarily outright saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So Antoine said that Dynamite is only a 2-hour show. How are all these stars going to shine? Well, see,
they won't.
They won't. But the problem is that you can't bring all of these stars from another company just to put some butts in the seats. Mm-hmm. You have to make your homegrown stars shine.
Yeah, you gotta make stars still.
Yeah, make them stars first. I mean, Darby Allin, cool, star. Jurassic Express, star, cool. Like, I mean, they're doing a good job building their stars. That's what I wanted from the beginning. Now you bringing in Malachi, cool, all right. They're building him up, liking that shit.
Yeah.
CM Punk is already a well-established star. Daniel Bryan, well-established star, multi-time champion. Now rumor has it that Bray Wyatt is coming. And that's why I say you got to be careful with that. Mm-hmm. If you put them in key positions, I will not have no problem with that. If everybody shine, everybody eats, I have no problem with that.
Same.
But the problem is that they have to have structure. Mm-hmm. You do not have structure, your company is not going to last. Look at WCW. WCW was all about their fucking friends. Mm-hmm. Everybody was eating, but there was no structure at all. And when I look at WCW and I look at AEW, it's like,
Was it like, I mean, like, honestly, there were other things that brought WCW down besides like lack of structure, though, because I feel like while what you're saying is accurate about the lack of structure, I feel like a lot of it came down to dollars and cents, right? They lost like I think it was like Time Warner or something bought out their TV network and stuff like that and decided that they weren't as popular, that they weren't as important anymore. That sort of thing. I think I heard about something like that in the documentary, the Monday Night Wars. But a lot of it came down to dollars and cents. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Khans have more money to throw around than Vince. So it's going like it should be interesting. Like right now, it looks modest, but they like as far as like the stage setup and things like that. But I have a feeling that's going to get a lot more intricate as time goes on, and it has. Honestly, they made modifications. Their setup for live shows looks a lot better than it did when they first started, and it's just it's slowly, but it's a slow build. But I feel like they're definitely profitable, man. Especially with their t-shirt business.
What you talking about AEW?
Yeah.
Their t-shirt business is booming. Oh my god!
It's like I was talking with Eric about this earlier today. Like their merch lines is like the line at an amusement park or something for a roller coaster, dude. I remember when I went to Double or Nothing in Vegas, the merch line was so long. Like if you stood in that line, you'd miss the whole fucking show, bro.
Right. Now, hear what Kevin said. So Kevin said that, like, I think they should push over John Silver from the Dark Order. See, this is the thing. You want them to be pushed, but they got all of this talent over here, man. They got all this talent that wants to be pushed as well. That's what I'm saying. It's also a competition. I get that you want that person to be pushed, but like I said, when you bring in more talent, that's the less time that your favorite superstar is going to get that airtime.
I still see John Silver quite a bit, though. I mean, like I still see John Silver. Like he just had a match on Dynamite, didn't he? Not maybe not this week, but last week. I don't know. Like, man, it's tough. These weeks just blend together, but. Trey Ice just made a good point, like, about them building stars and stuff like that. When the Young Bucks and Omega were first started AEW, they didn't push them right away. It's true. Yeah,
that's true. But like I said, that was back then. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about now. You know what I'm saying? Back then, shit, the Young Bucks were taking L's like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
They were.
big time.
They were taking L's.
Kenny too, man.
Kenny too. Kenny was losing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, at the first All Out.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That holds a lot of weight, Trey. Honestly, because now that they did take all their L's and stuff like that, now they're coming back a little bit, I guess, and you can't really be mad at them for that, right?
Yeah, you can't, because they basically.
Chris, yeah, you can.
But yeah, like, you can't really get mad at them for that, because they did lay all the groundwork for that, and they're doing the same thing right now. Like, they're building, stars for tomorrow, and I really respect that. The thing about it is with Christian
Cage, but see, I think Christian is an exception to that WWE guy rule, because like Christian never really rose to the top of WWE. Christian, I think, is an exception because he made his stardom elsewhere. He made his stardom in Impact. So like, for him to hold that belt, I think that's just. I think that's I don't know, like full circle. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I think so, man. Because like Christian, he left the WWE. He became a huge star. He became a main eventer in his own right. He was never a main eventer in WWE.
No.
Then he came back and he won he won the world title. So I mean, he kind of created his stardom in another place. He came back and he was the shit. You know what I mean? He was undeniable at that point. Now he left and he's going to be a champion again for a while. You know.
So you think he's going to be?
I think that's a total full circle moment.
So you think he's going to be champion for a minute and with Impact?
With Impact, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like he's probably still got a good relationship with those people over there. So probably, yeah. I mean, they'll probably have him hold their title for at least a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I guess it all depends. It depends on what his schedule looks like with AEW and stuff. Because obviously he's gonna have to appear on Impact as well, just like Kenny's been doing. Kenny's been a workhorse the past couple months, being on Impact, Dynamite. Then he's been all over the fucking place.
And then Ryan said from YouTube, Christian is outworking everybody. Now I don't know if he's being funny, but
Omega for that Impact title, man.
Yeah, but do you think that Mega's going to lose that title to Christian? You think?
Oh no, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. I think the AEW title is where it stops. I think Kenny's dropping that one to Hangman.
But the question is when, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's always the question, isn't it?
You know what I'm saying? When. And then let's see, Trey said Christian is exceptional to the rule. So they gave him an Impact title. To him, the AEW World Championship is for the young talent to become established only. Okay, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. He also said that Omega is dropping the belt to Paige. That's the original plan. Still.
I agree with that.
Okay. So another thing about AEW, and don't worry, everybody, we're gonna get to WWE in a minute. There are too many factions. What do you guys think about that?
I've lost count, man. I don't even know them all right now, dude. I couldn't name them all off the top of my head.
Well, you got the Factory. I want to kind of talk about the Factory real quick.
What is there to talk about with the Factory?
The Factory is trash. I mean, they're trash. Like, that's the one that's with Q-Tip or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Q-Tip Q-Tip is not. I don't know. There's something about him I'm just not digging. I don't know if it's just he's lacking charisma, or is this like AEW felt sorry for him, so they want to put him in the storyline? I don't know what the fuck it is, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure about that either. It's just I feel like it's just more guys on the roster that they're trying to get exposure for, so they're going to put them in factions. You know what I mean? It's just a way to get them all on the screen at the same time, get them all I mean, and like, can we talk about like how QT Marshall completely ripped off Carlito's gimmick, man, with the apple and shit, dude? Like, what the fuck?
And you know what the thing about it is that you are so trash. I don't even fucking pay attention to you.
Yeah,
I just don't like. I mean, even in person, like I looked at him, I wanted to say something, but I'm just like, dude, I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm just not interested.
yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. Like, I feel like they have a lot of guys on the rosters who just like aren't stars, like QT Marshall too. Like, I just don't really see that guy being entertaining really at all. So I just feel
No,
like
he's not. I mean, he like probably cut one good promo,
yeah,
and then that was it.
yeah.
That was it. Then Ryan said, well, the factions also put multiple talent on TV all at once. Yeah, okay, that might be a good strategy for short term. But for the long term, I mean, dude, like everybody is not going to get their shine like Jeremy said. Or like someone else said in the comments. Everybody's not going to get go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, everybody's not going to get their shine and not get that shit. But the thing about it is, if you're gonna put a faction together, at least make it make sense. That's my thing. That's my whole thing.
And I feel like it's kind of like in The Incredibles when Syndrome said, "When everybody's super, no one is." You know what I mean? It's like when you have like so many factions, you can't have one that dominates and like everything, or like just like. There's too many of them to like, you know, for one to actually like reign supreme and stuff. That's why you got like, you know, 5 active factions with like, you know, different storylines going on simultaneously. It's just
keep going.
And the Pinnacle, like Kevin, Pinnacle did make sense. I like, you know, MJF needed somebody to counter Chris Jericho in that situation and stuff. So yeah, that formation did make sense, and it's a good group too.
Right.
But like. I like, you know, all these other different factions, the Factory, you know, Death Triangle. I love Pac and the Lucha Bros. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's just I don't know.
The Lucha Bros. Okay, bro. I don't want to lie to you. The Lucha Bros are probably the coldest fucking faction that they currently have.
Yeah, they're dope. Yeah,
they are fucking dope. I love seeing them.
I just said Death Triangle just because like they're another one of the factions. You know what I mean? It's just what came to mind and stuff like that. But Inner Circle, you know, like it's just way too many and stuff. Is Inner Circle like still a thing though? Chris Jericho's been going it alone for a while.
I mean, right now, Inner Circle is doing their thing right now. Like, you know, you got Pride and Powerful going against FTR. Okay. Then you got
did Jake Hager have a match recently?
No, he hasn't been around.
Okay. I thought I seen him have a match.
No, I think he went back to MMA for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like everybody's doing something. Yeah, everybody's doing something. Yeah.
But honestly, that's welcome because like we've been saying, there's too many factions. So yeah, take a break. You know, do your own thing. And hopefully we see, you know, Proud and Powerful with the tag titles or something. And I like those guys.
Yeah, I do too.
Man.
Now let's kind of talk a little bit about WWE.
Okay.
So, what happened at SummerSlam?
Oh, before we move on to WWE, we haven't talked about Rampage yet, though.
Oh yes, okay. So yeah that will be our last point before we go to the WWE. Rampage. So we also talked about this at work as well. Me personally, I am not feeling Rampage at all. Rampage is basically another extension of Dynamite.
It needs a new look, man. It needs a new look.
Yeah, because it's like they put on a different apron. They put on some thunder, and that's it.
Some special effects, yeah.
Yeah, the special effects.
I think like part of that problem is because like you observed at the Milwaukee show, they tape all the shows at once.
Yes.
But they really need to change the look for Rampage. I feel like it should feel like a different show. It doesn't feel like a different show. I like the hour time frame about it. I think that's just enough time to include 3 really good matches.
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit of talking and stuff like that in between. I like the hour time limit. I think that's fantastic, man. I like it, and especially nowadays when we're used to getting our entertainment in smaller bits.
Mm-hmm.
Because who likes to sit there for 3 hours and watch Raw, man? I mean, I could 2 hours for Dynamite. That's easy, but like the 1 hour, it feels right. I like that.
Yeah.
But Rampage, I really do feel like it needs an overhaul. It needs a completely new look. You guys have been around for 2 years. You guys have been using that same set. It's starting to look kind of dated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really starting to look a little bit. Yeah,
it looked a little dated when they first brought it out. Honestly, like compared to some of the stuff that I hate to compare them to WWE, but like with WWE's doing and stuff like that. Like I feel like they need to do more with creating a different kind of stage setup for it.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the coldest like stage that the WWE ever came up with was the SmackDown sets. SmackDown sets were innovative. Like, it was way before its time. Like, the first one, loved it. Like, the rings and shit.
Yeah.
Love that shit. It took me a while to get used to it, but I loved it after like I started getting used to it. I'm just
like the little circle,
the oval, yeah, the oval Tron.
Yeah,
yes, dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
And then the fist. Yeah, everybody loved the fist.
Can't forget the fist, bro. Can't forget the fist.
That was great. Yeah, Rampage needs a new look. I feel like that would do wonders for it. Like if they could just make it to where they had they could like, rearrange some stuff on the stage even, I mean, because they've been like I said, they've been using that same stage setup for the past 2 years, at least elements of it with the 2 tunnels and stuff. It's starting to get a little old, man. I'm starting to get sick of it. It's time for a new look. Even maybe even switch up the look for Dynamite,
Yeah, like, if it's Dynamite, I mean, put some TNT out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, bro, like, make it attractive. I mean, you already got the fan base.
That reminds me of the last time, because like WWE kind of does the same thing for all their shows now with like the stage setup. It looks very similar. But I remember back when they used to build sets and stuff like that. I went to like one of the last Judgment days where they were still building sets, and it was like this big scale where it was like, one of those things.
Judgment Day, yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I just like when they used to put extra effort into it made the pay-per-views feel more special when they used to do stuff like that. And AEW's pretty good about doing that stuff too. Like at Double or Nothing, you'll see some poker chips, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their show needs an overhaul at this point, like at least for Rampage, just because it's a new show. You can't make it look like Dynamite, otherwise people are gonna think that they're watching Dynamite.
They're confused, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I thought that this was like another extension of Dynamite, because if this is a new show, what's so new about Rampage other than you just basically put a black man and and the town, right? It's just like what's different? Like,
yeah, Trey Ice is like saying my thoughts right now exactly. Just like when you look at Rampage, it's like you're still looking at Dynamite.
Right,
like,
exactly.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I feel like it's just a third hour of Dynamite, and the matches are good. They've been putting on good matches for Rampage. I've been
you know what? I agree with you on that. Yeah. Like, Rampage have had some epic
good
matches. Yeah, they have been having some epic matches. But the problem is that when you have a different theme, you got to change it up. You got to switch it up. Otherwise, your fan base that's like, getting into the product is going to say, wait a minute, is this Rampage? Or is this Rampage or is this Dynamite? Is it like Dynamite Part 2, or is it like what's going on here?
Speaking of Rampage, one thing that I've noticed watching WWE programming is that they're now copying like the lightning bolts and stuff like that, and the fists and things. Mm-hmm. Like it looks almost exactly like Rampage graphics and stuff. That I seen it in an Instagram post for John Cena. You remember when he introduced the new finisher where he was just like. And he did the like punch or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, so like they reposted that, but then they edited it to where he had like lightning bolts coming out of his fists and stuff, just like the Rampage ads and stuff. It was so funny. I commented and I was just like, oh, somebody in the WWE graphic design department's been watching Rampage ads. It's just because it looks so similar.
Wow.
It looked like it came out of their studio almost, man. Like the graphics were like the same thing to a T. So crazy.
So are you saying that the WWE was being petty?
I mean, I don't think they were being petty. I just think that they were being plagiarist. Well, not plagiarist, but they were just copying. I feel like
Plagiarist.
when they see something that works, when they see something that's like that's cool, because the Rampage ads were cool.
Mm-hmm.
That they they'll try and take it and kind of present it as their own. They're kind of like Apple. They'll wait for somebody else to bring out stuff like wireless charging, and then they'll put it in the iPhone like they invented.
Matter of fact, I needed me a wireless charger, by the way, because like yesterday, like I left my charger at work, and I'm just like, dude, like what the fuck, fuck. But yeah, I had to put my shit on power mode. But yeah, let's go to the WWE real quick.
Cool.
Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay. So
Trey Ice had a question about Booker T. I know how you like talking about Booker T, Chris.
Yeah, so that matter of fact, that's gonna be we're gonna finish the rest of this off because matter of fact, I'm cooking right now, so I gotta kind of wrap this up because we're actually
Are you serious? You're cooking?
I bullshit you not, bro. Like I have not haven't had anything to eat, man.
Just forget about it. It's over,
man.
With.
Fuck
You've been on here for like an hour and 6 minutes, man. That shit is over.
No, No, matter of fact, let's talk about Booker T, and then what we'll do is anything that we haven't talked about, we'll talk about on. You're so stupid. We'll talk about it on Sunday. We'll talk about it the rest on Sunday. But so I want you guys to pay attention to this video that I'm about to put up right now.
Top 100. But is it one of the greatest comeback moments of all time?
Well,
yes, of all time.
For me, it was the same promo that was given in WWE. It was about WWE.
Yeah.
It had nothing meaningful to it as far as what I'm finna create and who I'm finna blow up and how I'm finna take AEW by coming in, being a nice guy and throwing out freaking ice cream bars. Who gives a damn about that? Guys, stick around.
I've ever seen in my life, nowhere even close to it.
Who cares about ice cream? What, Booker T? You don't like ice? Tell me he did not just say that. Please.
So,
who cares about ice cream?
Jesus Christ.
I certainly do.
Lord Jesus. Oh, Stevie, please forgive me while I'm about to say this about your brother. This is the reason, everyone, of why I don't like Booker T. Booker T, to me, is a failed nigga.
I get it.
Booker T is a fucking failed nigga, everyone. I cannot stress this enough. Everyone loves Booker T or what he has done in this business. They even loved him because he called Hulk Hogan a nigga. But my whole thing is that he'll let all these other white motherfuckers call him a nigger. But he'll sit there and talk about, well, I'm getting paid for it.
Oof. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, his self-respect went out the window as soon as he let Triple H said that he was basically a jigaboo, was there to make people like him laugh and be entertained and all this other shit. Booker T, to me, is a fucking hater. I
didn't even hear about that shit with Triple H. That really happened? Like, man, dude.
You might want to go back to that whole storyline.
I mean, I believe it, but like that's crazy, man.
He basically said
he just stuck around.
Hold on a second. Hope I'm not burning my house.
Yeah. Trey.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Trey. You notice Punk never. He says you notice Punk never mentioned WWE under the same category as pro wrestling,
and that's where I was trying to like really figure out like this whole thing about the whole promo was about WWE, and this is how you know that man has selective hearing.
He alluded to WWE like once in that promo.
And I'm just like, how would you take a whole promo and then say that he was talking about the WWE just for some talking points, just for like some negative views on your channel? Like, I'm just like trying to really figure out like, why is Booker T even saying all this shit? Like, the whole thing is Booker T is a fucking joke. He's always been a joke. He's mad because he's not he's not the CM Punk of professional wrestling.
He's got a lot of nerve saying that Punk's not over. That's for sure.
And the thing about it is, Booker T wanted to be the Rock of professional wrestling, but because ever since he lost that damn world title in 2001 at SummerSlam, that's when the burial of Booker T started.
Yeah, I mean, I don't share the same harsh feelings for Booker T quite as hard.
Shit.
But like, you know, I respect what he's done in the business. I've always enjoyed watching Booker T matches, and not to mention Harlem Heat matches.
I love Harlem Heat, but
yeah, love Harlem Heat, man. Love Harlem Heat. But
Harlem Heat, and you know,
he does say some dumb shit sometimes, though, man.
Me and Stevie Ray have had talks about this. Everybody always asks me, it was just like, you know what I'm saying, like, how are you and Stevie Ray friends? I said, because like me and Stevie Ray actually had one-on-one conversations offline. Like, I told him, I said, dude, like, I don't know what the fuck is up with your brother, but like, dude, like, he needs to, if you don't got shit to say, if you don't got no smart shit to say, don't say the shit at all, because the internet will come for your ass. Now, here's another thing. As soon as Booker T said that shit, 48 hours later, Booker T took that video down.
Yep, he sure did. Because I think it's because he knew he said something stupid, man. And he just like
this shit was fucking stupid, bro.
But I mean, like, at least like it can be said that at least he had the common sense to fall back on that. You know what I'm saying?
Because see, here's the thing, bro. Booker T, this is not his first rodeo. This is not the first time that Booker T has like talked out of his ass and then went back, said something that was very controversial. Then an hour later, 2 hours later, the day after, he will say, I don't know why these fans are attacking me. I don't understand. It's making me real sad. It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand. I understand that you are an old man, that you're up there in age, so that senile, you know, type of attitude, that type of feel is really starting to really kick in, because I literally had to watch this shit and I couldn't respond. Mm-hmm. And I said, when I get back to Facebook, I'm going to respond accordingly, because anything that comes flying out of Booker T's mouth, I don't take serious.
He's a company man. He's gonna say whatever he can to make his company look the best as possible. And I mean, honestly, I can't fault him for that. Really, I mean, that's where he works. So,
but you know what, bro? You might be a company man, but there's just some things I'm just not going to say. That was one of them.
Yeah.
That whole thing with
why is he even commenting on it anyways? You know, I mean, like, you don't even really,
because Booker T wants to take the moment away. The whole thing of why he said that shit, because he was trying to take the moment away from CM Punk, and it completely backfired.
Yeah,
that's what Booker T does. That's what company men do. Company men that's getting all of them shucky ducky quack quack type of dollars and shit. He figured that, like, you know, oh, Mr. McMahon, sir, I did a real good job, sir. Can I get some extra damn dollars? You know, that type of shit. What?
Yeah, that's rough, you know.
it was rough hearing that fucking interview, dude. That
It's rough
whole
hearing
shit,
a lot of
like,
these interviews. Let's face it.
I just, man,
Yeah.
but yeah, that shit
I
was
agree,
rough,
Trey.
bro.
Like, he does seem a little bitter. Maybe he's bitter because he knows that he never really quite got to the level of your CM Punk and even like who he compared him to, John Cena. Because like honestly, like yeah, CM Punk's way more over than John Cena, man. It's pretty undeniable at this point. I mean, like it's just. John Cena can go away for a little bit and come back, and yeah, people.
No one chance Cena's name.
Yeah, I mean, I think people were happy to see him back just because they like to talk shit, and I mean, because like I know it's fun chanting John Cena sucks, like during his theme music and things like that.
And they did.
It's one of the that's one of the more enjoyable things about WWE shows these days. It's just the trolling as a crowd member. Making
the trolling is awesome,
like that.
dude.
Yeah,
the trolling is awesome, but it's just when you say stupid shit like that, and this is where we were talking about.
Show, man, this is just Booker T being a fucking moron.
Yeah, and that's why I say that, and that's where we go back to the first topic. The toxic attitude in the wrestling business. It's not just fans, it's also wrestlers as well, podcasters. Mm-hmm. It's toxic all the way around. And we can't just blame this shit on just fans because wrestlers have a lot to do with this as well. Jim Cornette is one of them. Ryback, that Soul Glow, no, not Soul Glow, but that Donald Trump little fucker that used to be a porn star but got a 5-inch dick. What was his name? Val Venus? I mean, like, it's just all the way around, bro. Like, it's just
Val Venus was really entertaining, though, man. I enjoy Val Venus segments back in his heyday.
I did too.
I enjoyed it. PP.
Chop chop PP. Yeah, like, man, this shit was good as fuck. But everyone, it's 11:21. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap this up. We'll be back on here. I might have a special guest. It's actually a fan that wants to come on #Heels for Life, and he wants to kind of chop it up with us. So we might have him on. I'm gonna probably talk to him tomorrow. But yeah, like Jeremy, always been a pleasure having you on the show and giving your thoughts on what we talked about today. What's your final thought?
My final thought is I hope to see the continued success of AEW. I hope to see some kind of positive change in the WWE because I think that's like what everybody hopes for. But yeah, otherwise, man, I'm just gonna enjoy the show as much as I can, and just wait for AEW to come on while I sit through all this WWE programming that's flooding my week.
yeah, me too, man. Like it's I'm just gonna sit back and I'm just gonna observe. I think that's what I'm gonna do now. And now I'm talking as Chris, not Mr. Team Bring It. The last 7 days of me being blocked on Facebook, it really kind of made me mature a little bit because it's just like certain things you can say, some things you can't say, especially on social media. Things are starting to be taken away from us. And then on top of that, this is an up and coming hot podcast. So there's going to be eyes that's going to be looking on us, and we have to take responsibility for our actions and what we say and what we do on our program. So, we're hot.
I honestly think you didn't do anything wrong, but
I know I didn't do anything wrong, but I gotta really look at some of the things that I do say on the program, or publicly, because when you say things, when you type it out, it's easy for them to pick it out and say, "Oh, you can't say that. I'm blocking you." Yeah. So when I looked at that shit, I'm just like, I'll just save it for the program. I'm not going to
give them any ammo, man.
Exactly, and that's what I'm not going to do. But Jeremy, once again, love you, man.
Thanks for having me, man. It was a blast as usual. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, everybody, the next time that we do come on here and have a special episode, Jeremy might reappear. Eric might reappear. Someone from the Jobbers Tier podcast, because we was actually talking about this. We're going to have another special episode on the best finishers, the best heels. We're gonna have those brackets. We're gonna basically we're gonna have a blast on here. So, but once again, thank you for coming on the show for this podcast. Once again, this is #Heels for Life. I'm your host, Mr. T. Briggett. That's Jeremy. Take care, everyone. We'll see you Sunday. Peace.
Peace.